The TUF is about to start on June 1st. This reality show has been happening every year, twice a year, since 2005. But in 2018 it stopped, with the last season being between Robert Whittaker versus Calvin Gastelum team. That is almost 3 years without the show, a long time for something that happened religiously every year, twice a year. The initial idea was to make Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal as the main coaches of this show. Colby Covington and Masvidal were close friends and training partners, but now everything has changed and they are one of the big rivals in this sport. Of course, the show would have been better and more interesting between Colby Covington and Masvidal because of their past, because of their rivalry. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovsky took their place. Everything is filmed already. A couple of days ago, Colby Covington gave an interview to James Lynch and sounded bitter about losing that spot. He said this:
"Yikes. I know Hunter Campbell and Dana White probably had to go behind closed doors and be smacking themselves in the head, because you don't want those two guys as your coaches, as your comeback season Ultimate Fighter. Those guys are going to make a complete mockery of the show. I mean, there's just no entertainment factor there, you know? Those guys, yeah, they're decent fighters, but for the little weights, the little midgets, but they don't sell, and there's no controversy, there's no drama, there's no nothing, you know? There's no storyline. So, you know, I feel bad for the show. I wish I could have came back to the show and give the people what they want, you know?
Brian Ortega fired back to Colby Covington. I don't know why Colby Covington is hating on the TUF show. It was yours, bro. I didn't even fucking want it. Gamber left to fight for the title and you got passed out. My fight fell through and we got the call to get it. I didn't call anyone to be on the show. They hit me up. Now I'm glad you're not getting it, bitch. On the paper, Covington and Masvidal would be more interesting because of the past drama that they have. But recently, Dana said in different interviews that he had to go to the show to solve a problem there. It suggests that the show wasn't too monotone or boring. It is actually the opposite because they had that drama. Bantamweight division is jammed right now. Aljamain Sterling, the current champion, is not considered by many the legitimate champion because of the way the fight ended with Petr Yan. Despite having success in the first rounds of the fight, the momentum of the fight started to change in favor of Petr Yan. On the fourth round, Petr Yan landed an illegal knee. They used the scorecard and Aljamain Sterling won, making him the champion. However, many felt that Petr Yan would have won if the fight had continued. That is part of the reason why he is not considered the legitimate champion. Another more important reason why he is not considered the champion is because the fans believe that Sterling exaggerated the impact of the knee and he could have continued to fight. More important than that is the fact that despite refusing the belt in the octagon, he was seen celebrating on social media. Celebrating and saying that he is the champion. All of this showed that there is unsolved business between Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling and no one else should fight for the title. To complicate the situation even more, Sterling has to have a neck surgery and he's expected to come back only in October of 2021. I kind of digressed there because I should have been talking about Rob Font and Petr Yan, but I presented you all that information to paint the picture of the bantamweight division. Despite having a great performance and beating a former champion, Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font cannot fight for the title right away. The website bjpen.com posted an article titled "Rob Font wants Petr Yan next," and then in quotation, "The fans want to see exciting fights, and I know that's an exciting fight." Petr Yan fired back to Rob Font, indicating that he's not interested in fighting him. Petr wrote, "Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. You couldn't even knock Cody no chin out with your pillow hands. Here's the deal though. I couldn't find Rob Font saying that anywhere that he wants to fight Petr Yan. Let's look at the source of this quote. According to bjpen.com, Rob Font spoke to Mike Heck, a journalist from MMA Fighting. It seems that bjpen.com is indicating that Rob Font gave an interview to Mike Heck. However, when I checked MMA Fighting website, they stated that Font was asked to give his best case scenario after the fight. So it appears that Mike Heck didn't ask that question. It was someone else. The problem with that quote is that I couldn't find where Rob Font said it. He didn't say it in the post-fight interview, nor when he was interviewed by Paul Felder. This might be a telephone game, or Rob Font didn't say it, or we just couldn't find where he said it. In fact, when he was interviewed by Paul Felder, Rob Font said that he wants the winner of Dillashaw versus Corey Sanhagen, or the title fight.
And you're coming on 4 wins now.
Yes, sir.
And another feather in your cap with a huge win over somebody like Cody Garbrandt, a former champion, win over Marlon Moraes. I got to ask the question, who do you want next and what do you think you deserve?
Like I said, I'll be patient. Obviously we got to see how the championship fight plays out. And then obviously Corey and TJ's fighting. So, I want to get in between those 2 guys right there. Obviously, the winner of the TJ fight, or obviously if I can get to the belt, I would love to get straight to the belt.
Well, after that performance, man, I cannot wait to see what is next for you in your future. Go enjoy that.